You're thinking about moving to Bellevue, Washington.
And you want to know the pros and the cons, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad before you make such an important decision. Well, in today's video, we're going to explore both the benefits and the drawbacks of living in Bellevue.
And we are going to get after it right now.
If this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything about Greater Seattle, then subscribe and tap that notification bell so you'll be the first to know about Greater Seattle and our current market.
My name is Jess.
And my name's Sterling.
We're realtors here in the Seattle area. Our team gets calls and emails every day from people just like you looking to make their move to the Greater Seattle area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're planning to make that move in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We would love to help you make that smooth move to this Greater Seattle area.
Now let's dive into today's topic. And before we hit the very first pro, it's important to note that Bellevue is just east of Seattle, just on the other side of Lake Washington. So Lake Washington separates Bellevue from Seattle. And that is the very first pro, is its proximity to Seattle and the other surrounding cities.
That's right. It's actually sandwiched on the west side. It has Lake Washington, and on the east it has Lake Sammamish. So it's right in between two bodies of water, which is great. On the north end, you have 520, the 520 bridge that goes across Lake Washington over into Seattle. And then on the south end, you have I-90 that passes through Bellevue as well. So it's just a great central area. You're also very close to Kirkland and Redmond. So again, easy to hit all of the tech jobs, especially if you work in that industry. Bellevue is a great location for that. So our next pro is the abundance of natural outdoor beauty and park space. It has over 100 parks, 2,700 acres of outdoor and green space, and 800 miles of walking trails. So you don't have to leave Bellevue to enjoy the outdoors, which is wonderful.
Yeah, Bellevue's a beautiful city. It's clean. And when you're downtown, just one example would be the downtown Bellevue Park. You can grab a sandwich, quick stroll from the office if you're working there. And there's other people throwing frisbees, walking the dog, big waterfall to enjoy. That's just one of the many parks in Bellevue. There's also the Bellevue Botanical Gardens. That's my personal favorite because during various seasons you see things in bloom that's free to the public and never feels really too crowded. So Bellevue is truly a beautiful city in the Northwest.
Which, fun fact, that's how Bellevue got its name. So Bellevue is French for a beautiful view. So because it's situated right on the water, there are so many beautiful views from the downtown area as well as with all of these beautiful parks.
So the next pro for living in Bellevue are all the job opportunities. Bellevue has a ton of tech sector jobs, a number of Fortune 500 company satellite offices. So it's really a great place to find a job, especially in the tech sector.
Right, and as we were talking in the previous pro about the proximity, it neighbors Redmond, and we have Microsoft, we have Nintendo USA. In downtown Bellevue, offices are being built for Amazon, so that will also bring in more tech jobs. So it just provides for such a thriving economy in the Bellevue area. So our next pro is the abundance of shopping in Bellevue. So Bellevue Square Mall has over 200 stores. It's a fantastic mall to just go and walk around. It has 2 levels. It's really open. It has skylights. So really great place if you are bored and want to just walk around and check out the amazing stores. You have that there. Right across the street is Lincoln Square. You actually have access. You can walk across the Sky Bridge over to Lincoln Square, which has mixed retail space. It has restaurants, it has a movie theater, it has some residential living. And right in between the two is Bellevue Way. And a fun little thing to do during the holidays is that turns into Snowflake Lane. And nightly they have a beautiful parade where it snows. It's really fun to go check that out in the wintertime.
Yeah, our family, our kids really enjoy that time of year. And also if you want some high-end shopping, there's also the Bravern just down the street. You have stores like Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, all the places my wife likes
Prada.
to go. So yeah, there's an abundance of shopping.
There's something for everyone.
And it's actually higher end shopping than you'll find in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Seattle used to be more cosmopolitan, but since Bellevue has really blossomed in the last 20 years. It has become the mecca of high-end shopping in Greater Seattle. Now, you can't mention the pros of living in Bellevue without mentioning the great school system. One of the number one reasons why families move to Bellevue is because of the top-rated schools. In fact, niche.com rates the Bellevue School District as the #2 school district in all of Washington State.
Yeah, number one is Mercer Island. So that's fantastic that it's ranked up right underneath Mercer Island. It has a student to teacher ratio of 19:1, which is fantastic, an A+ rating. And what's really great about that is that you don't have to pay for private school if you don't want to. Of course, they still have plenty of great private schools, but you don't have to have that as an added cost. And our last pro is just how safe and clean Bellevue is. So when you drive around, it is a very clean city. You're not going to see much homelessness, and you feel really safe. You don't feel like you constantly have to be locking your car doors. Not that you wouldn't want to, that's always prudent to do, but you don't feel like you have to do it everywhere that you go.
Yeah, it's a very night and day difference. So when you're in downtown Seattle or even suburbs of Seattle, you might see graffiti, homelessness, various things that make you feel like you are in the urban environment where it's a little rough around the edges. Versus Bellevue has this cleaner, newer, just safer feel, and the statistics prove this. So the per capita, if you look at the Seattle police reports and compared to the Bellevue police reports, the violent crime, the property crime is much lower in Bellevue as well. And now let's dive right into the cons of Bellevue, because there is no perfect city or neighborhood, and we want to be as transparent and truthful with both the good and the bad. So let's talk about the cons.
Well, and we like to talk about both the pros and cons too, because sometimes the pros may not be something that you actually like, and the cons may be something you're okay with. So that way you get to make that decision.
Exactly, and that's our first con, something that some people at on the last segment of talking about pros, they looked at the cleanliness of Bellevue as a pro, but we do have some of the Seattleites and some people who say, no, Bellevue's too clean. So that actually could be a con for those of us who think that it just might be a little too sterile, too corporate, too maybe homogenous.
Yeah, some people complain that it is a little bit too bland. You have a lot of chain restaurants and chain stores, which can be good, but if you want more of that unique experience, Seattle offers more of those opportunities.
Yeah, Seattle has more grit, a little more character. And so there's the debate that ensues between the people who enjoy the cleanliness of Bellevue and the people who prefer
more character and grit.
The grit of Seattle.
Yeah. So our next con is going to be the high cost of living. So the median home value in Bellevue at the time of this recording is around $1.3 million versus Seattle is $800,000. So that's a significant increase.
Yeah, so that's really the main cost of living difference between Seattle and Bellevue, because things like gasoline, groceries, healthcare, transportation, they're going to be quite similar between the two cities. But Bellevue's cost of living when it comes to rent and purchasing a home, condo, townhouse are all going to be more in Bellevue than Seattle. Another con that we can't escape is the weather. So Seattle and Bellevue share the same weather patterns. Just because you're in a different city doesn't mean it's going to be sunny and 70 every day.
I was going to say, this is probably going to come up again and again on our pros and cons of the different areas in Greater Seattle.
Yeah, not to be a broken record, but you do need to be familiar with our weather patterns. Many people say we have two seasons, the rainy season and then those 3 glorious months of sun. Now, it's not raining all the time. In fact, we get less rainfall than New York City, but we do have way more cloudy days than the average city. In fact, we're leading the nation in cloudy days, and we have a lot of drizzly days. So you don't usually need to protect yourself with an umbrella, but you do want to have that light rain jacket handy, because we do get that drizzle so often. So another con that you want to be aware of is the traffic congestion.
That's right. So Bellevue, because it's centrally located, it has 3 interstates that run through it. So at the north end, we have 520. Again, that it turns into the bridge, the toll bridge that goes across Lake Washington. On the south end, we have Interstate 90, which actually goes across the Washington state and beyond. And then right through the middle, north and south, we have Interstate 405. So you have a lot of traffic moving in and around Bellevue. Not a lot of great public transportation options. However, they are trying to improve that. So the light rail station, there is one set to open in 2024, which will allow you to go from Bellevue. It stops on Mercer Island and goes all the way to downtown Seattle, as well as it has other plans in place to have other stations open throughout Bellevue. So hopefully in the coming years that will improve. But as of now, at certain times of the day, it can be difficult to get around Bellevue.
With that in mind, we hope you enjoyed our pros cons video of Bellevue. And if you are considering Bellevue as a place to move, definitely check out our other videos that explore Bellevue more and share other helpful information.
And if you're local to Bellevue, we'd love to hear from you. Comment in the link below. Let us know other pros and cons that you have from living in Bellevue, Washington. And whether you're planning to make the move in 9 days or 90 days, reach out, give us a call, send us a text. We'd love to help you make that smooth move to the greater Seattle area.